Welcome back. I'm trying out a different kind of shot here. Gotta give it a shot, you know? That was bad. Anyway, so the past couple of days I've been talking about the best person in your life, which is you, my friend. Even if I don't feel it that way right now, it's up to you to switcheroo to make sure that the one person that is with you your entire life, that you get to be and embody, is experiencing what they came here to experience. There's there's kind of this feeling in society. We're taught to outsource our worth to the point that we are constantly looking outside of ourselves for the things we want. And yes, there are things that we want that are outside of ourselves, of course. But if we look at why we want them, it gets interesting because a lot of the time we want these things outside of ourselves in order to fit in or feel like we belong, to stay in love and belonging with the community around us, and thus get that external validation from that. And that is a good thing to notice, because if you notice that you're just seeking a feeling of belonging and it's not actually, you might realize that it's not actually something that you want. You've just been told to want it by the people that you weren't, you've taught the system to uh, say you need to stay in love and belonging with, because that's how you survive. Because again, when you were a kid, when you were a baby, you could not survive without community. We need that as humans. That's why we're so wired to seek for that love and belonging and that external validation. And it works really well for us when we're kids, and it gets us to surviving until we're old enough to then we get sorry old enough to do it on our own. But do we realize that we can do it on our own, do it in our own way, that we can do things differently and go for things that light us up and excite us, that feels really scary to that younger version of ourselves who is living in here and here in your energy body 24/7, 365. So it's up to us, once we're older, once we're capable adults or young people, to notice what patterns that younger, very loving part of ourselves created. That, look, it served us great because we're still here, we survived. That's what the love and belonging is for. So tick, we did it. But what ways are those patterns can we notice with curiosity, always curiosity? Which ways are those patterns holding us back from the capable person that we are now? Because a younger version of ourselves that didn't feel capable, maybe wasn't capable, but at least didn't feel capable, keeps telling us we can't do that. That's unsurvivable. That's unsafe. We've got to do it this way. We've always done it. Got to follow this pattern and you'll survive. That's my goal for you. Nothing bigger than that. Just survive. Bare minimum to be alive. So, and we're not berating this part of us, because this part of us has loved us enough to want us to survive our entire lives. Parts, should I say, because there's so many of those younger parts of ourselves, and sometimes they'll conflict, and that's when we get really interesting with ourselves. We get the questioning ourselves and the anxiety and the overthinking, and and when we're mad at ourselves, it's one part mad and another part within us. And just noticing all this with curiosity in your day to day and consciously choosing to see it and ask yourself, is this pattern still serving me? Is there a way, perhaps, that if it's not serving me, I could choose to take action, even in small ways, to prove to that younger version of myself that we are strong and capable now and we can take over the reins and survive too. And they can just happily go play. I'm sure they would love to put down the reins. They just think that it's all on their shoulders. It's bonkers the knots we tie ourselves into, running on patterns that aren't serving us anymore, uh, and actively sabotaging what we know consciously that we want in this life. But yeah, as I touched on in the beginning, you want to notice if what you're seeking is actually the thing that you're seeking, the external thing that you're seeking, or are you seeking the love and belonging that you feel like will come with it? Because it might not even come with it, but you might feel like it will. Or maybe it's the feeling you're hunting for. That feeling of feeling loved and feeling loved and belonging, or that feeling of just joy and enjoying your life, or feeling worthy. It's a big one. Feeling deserving of what you want. Maybe you've never felt that feeling. Whatever feeling it is that this goal is trying to give you, even if you're not consciously aware, or maybe you're putting it together right now. I just want you to be curious about it. Don't take it so seriously. And if it is just a feeling you're looking for, but you had this big circus performance that you thought you had to do in order to get to that feeling, and you wouldn't have thought this through, this will just all be feelings in your body. What can you notice? Like, okay, I had planned this whole circus and it was actually kind of stressing me out. Um, do I need to do the circus? Is there parts of that that's going to light me up and actually still feel valuable to me? And maybe the answer will be yes, and you'll just do it. Maybe the answer will be no, though. Maybe I can do something a lot easier than that whole hoopla. I could actually just find ways to tune into feeling that feeling of, say, it's worthiness first. Choose to feel the feeling first. Find small ways to step into that feeling so that you can grow it and grow it and grow it over time, so that you're choosing that first. Like, you can literally choose to to feel into that feeling, like right now. Choose to feel worthy. I know that sounds way simpler than it's supposed to be, but what if you just chose to feel happy right now, for instance? Look, stuff will come up each day that drags you out of that. But can you, whenever you consciously think, this is going on, this is going on, this is all too much, just say, okay, I hear that, thoughts in my head, and I'm going to choose to feel happy with where I'm at anyway. And look, it won't work 100% of the time, of course not. But if you feel into that feeling more often than not, won't you be enjoying your life more? Are you not here to enjoy your life? I, I know I am. And I also know there's ways I could set myself up better so that I feel like I can enjoy my life more and not feel like I'm in survival mode and just think, oh, I'll get on to tuning into that once I've survived XYZ thing that's coming up, or once my finances improve, or um, once I learn to have a better routine. I'm very honest. I'm here probably too honest about how I've struggled to have some kind of routine, and how that's holding me back a lot. So yeah, so I just want you to feel into what's one small thing you can do for yourself on a daily basis that will help you. Well, I mean, really, I'm going to suggest something. Could you tune into yourself? Maybe you'll do it. Ideally, it'd be great to do it first thing in the morning with an anchor. Maybe it's when you brush your teeth. But if you cultivate the habit of doing it whenever you feel triggered by something, or like maybe there's a certain moment that pops up in your day frequently. Every time I boil the jug, I'm gonna notice what my mood's at, and I'm gonna choose to feel happy. Once I've heard myself, felt feelings, and then I'm gonna choose happiness. I'm gonna choose to feel worthy. Insert whatever it is for you. But can you tune into you on a frequent basis to make sure that you're enjoying your life, that you're doing things that will enrich that enjoyment in the longer term? That's the hard one, especially for ADHD brains, for anything like me. Um, so yeah, you are the best person in your life. So I really hope you find the courage to step up and be the better version of the best person in your life, because no one else again is ever there with you your whole life, no matter how close you are. So yeah, I'll leave it at that for tonight. And yeah, please tune into you and notice when you're triggered, and let's let's just choose to feel better, and then we can go for our dreams from that space, and likely we'll get them a lot faster feeling good. Okay, much love. See you tomorrow.